This year has been incredibly packed with PlayStation hardware. Sony released stuff like the PSVR 2, the PlayStation Edge, which was this like $200 super premium controller. There's things like the PlayStation Portal, which is about to come out, which is like a streaming handheld device. And next up is the PlayStation 5 Slim. Now, while doing research on the PS5 Slim, I noticed that some people seem to be a bit fatigued or even downright hate this new revised console. But let's talk about why. Hi, hope you're having a great day. I'm DreamcastGuy. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I'll be honest, some actual big storm came through just a couple days ago while I was working on the Alan Wake 2 review. There was a massive thunderstorm that blew chunks of my roof off. So there's a bunch of roofers outside my house right now. So if there's a couple jump cuts in this video, it's because they're banging around on the roof. But thanks to those hardworking gentlemen, and I think they're having a lunch break right now. So I hope they're enjoying their lunch break. But first and foremost, I think it's surprising to me that more people are not discussing the PlayStation 5 Slim, but I think it comes down to three main issues. Like, I saw this poll where a lot of people straight up said they are not going to buy the PS5 Slim, and this is interesting to me because this is by Push Square Magazine. This is a complete PlayStation fanboy website, and I don't mean that as an insult. They just only cover PlayStation stuff, and even their fan base is saying there's no way I'm not going to buy it. I'm not interested. Maybe I will at some point. I'll wait until later. I'm not buying. Yes, I'm buying one at launch, and the biggest one of all, I'm not going to buy it unless my current PS5 breaks. Now, personally, I am going to buy the new PS5 Slim. I actually plan on buying it because it comes out here in, 13 days? I'm honestly kind of curious. I've had a PlayStation 5 since the day it came out. I've been playing it pretty much every day since the day it came out, so I'm curious to see what this new slimmer version of the system looks like. But it feels like the hatred for this console comes down to three main things. First and foremost, it doesn't really look any cooler. The previous console revisions we've gotten from previous generations of Sony, obviously, the smaller the PS3 got, in my opinion, it looked cooler and cooler and cooler. Even the PS4, the PlayStation 4 got a slim revision, just like all the other ones have. The PlayStation 1, way back in the day, got the PS1 revision. Every PlayStation got smaller, and it got cheaper, except for this one. Now, the second part that a lot of people are mad about is that straight up, this isn't cheaper. Like, you can jump through some hoops with the math, but technically, while the edition here is, if anything, slightly more expensive, this is not the price cut that a lot of people hoped. We are now 3 years into the console life cycle, and we've seen no price drops, which is truly a first time. It's just very strange. Now, you could say Xbox is doing the same thing. Nintendo Switch hasn't been really dropping their price. But, I mean, if we're focusing on PlayStation, it's weird that systems don't get cheaper in the way that they used to, which is kind of lame in my opinion, because you know these systems are getting cheaper for PlayStation to produce. They're getting more profit, but they're not passing that on to us. And specifically here, technically, the PlayStation 5 All Digital Edition is getting a price increase. The PS5 Slim Digital Edition is $450. The original PS5 Digital Edition was $400. They are increasing the price, which to me kind of sucks. Now, some people also just say that the system itself doesn't look great, but this seems to be the stranger thing that's bubbled up as of yesterday. Now, I wanted to talk about this. A bunch of subscribers sent me this. The PS5 disk drive requires you plug it into the internet. Now, this is real. The way we found out about this is that people are actually getting these PlayStation 5 Slim consoles. Look at this new PS5 dropping. This looks like somebody that's busted it out of a factory. And one of the things it says is in the fine print down here in the small text, it actually says you must plug in the PlayStation 5 disk drive in order to activate it. PS5 Slim disk drive comes with bizarre online requirements. So the way it works is that you buy the system and it needs to be connected to the internet before the disk drive will work. Okay, so let's face facts. That sucks. Because, I mean, even if you live in a place that has good internet connection, it is still weird to consider the fact that that means that in the future, these consoles will brick. Like, if we're actually talking about beyond just the ramifications of the all-digital future we're probably headed towards, it's a bit strange to think that when Sony takes their servers down at some point, or if there is any server crashes or server maintenances, your console cannot be booted up. Now, after it does that initial setup, assumedly it's going to work fine, but it's weird to think about the fact that when Sony has an outage, anybody that buys a PlayStation 5 Slim during those days, their console is just bricked until the servers come back up. And a lot of people are kind of unhappy about this, but apparently it comes down to a specific law. Here in America, we have this weird anti-piracy stuff. A lot of stuff back in the day when they were trying to first invent Blu-rays and stuff, basically the government was weird about the idea of putting like super HD formatted stuff onto discs and the fact that you could burn these discs. So it makes it where Sony is doing the anti-piracy measures that are required under Section 1201 of the Digital Rights Media Act. It sucks, but this is just a law. I'm not even giving that as an excuse. It does freaking blow. I'm just saying that it is very weird that you have to like register a disk drive. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of that. Why doesn't other versions of I think the Xbox requires that, but I don't know. This just seems like a weird circumstance in general. But the final issue I've seen a lot of people discussing about this is that it is just weird that the system itself isn't smaller. People have been using certain measurements to actually do a comparison as to how much smaller this new system is going to be, and I must admit that this is definitely tinier, but I think some people were just expecting more. I mean, the fact that the PlayStation 5 Slim exists confirms the other major leak. Last year we had a big, gigantic, deep dive that came out from the leaker Tom Henderson, where he said that there's going to be a PlayStation 5 handheld, which turned out to be the PlayStation Portal. That was real. We have the PlayStation 5 Slim that he leaked. There it is. That's real. And next up is the PlayStation 5 Pro. I guess I'm curious to see what the specifications of that system end up being. Personally, I am going to buy this. I think as a person that's just, honestly, I'm doing it because I want to review it. I want to see how big and how clean and how good it looks in real life. But as it currently stands, this does seem to be a much lower quality slimification, a console revision than anybody has ever seen. Like Xbox console revisions have better, previous PlayStation console revisions have been way better, and even Nintendo console revisions. Like do I have my, no, I don't have my Nintendo Switch. My Nintendo Switch is over there. But even Nintendo console revisions are so much better than this, like the Switch OLED or the Switch Lite. PlayStation Slim doesn't suck, but it's definitely something that personally I wish was better. Maybe it'll blow me away when I actually buy it. Maybe the look of it on my shelf will be so cool, I'll be like, all right, now I get it. But how do you feel about the PlayStation Slim? Are you curious about it? Are you going to buy it? And have you purchased a PlayStation 5 already? Are you ready for the PlayStation 5 Pro? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. I still can't believe I have a DualSense Edge. This controller was $200. And it's so heavy. It's really cool. I like all the programmable triggers. I did a video talking about this a million years ago, but it's been a heavy hardware year for Sony. One of their heaviest, to be honest. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.